everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Merry Christmas. So I hope you enjoyed my last video. It was the 45s, the singles. Yeah, the little record with the big hole in the middle. We did our top 10 Christmas 45s for you in the last show. Tonight, we're going to talk about my top 10 Christmas albums, LPs, full-length albums. Now, this is not my top 10 Christmas songs. Actually, my favorite Christmas song of all time is not even on a Christmas album. Nor is it on. It is available on a 45 if you got a couple $100. But so we're not talking songs specifically. We're talking the album. Okay, the entire piece of work that was released as the long play, the 33 1/3. So that's what tonight's show is about. So we're gonna give you the top 10, and again, I don't try to be 100% accurate with my facts. I might talk about some facts as well as I remember them, but this isn't a factual show. This isn't a statistics type video channel. We might talk about when it was released if I can remember as such. But basically, this is about the music, the memories, the moments, the meanings, and hopefully you enjoy it and it brings back some memories for you. Okay, so we're gonna start with number 11. I told you top 10, and we're starting with number 11. So this is a bonus one, okay? This is probably not one of my favorite top 10 records. Matter of fact, listening through it all the way through is a little challenging because it's a real high-pitched voice. But I remember being a kid and not having a couple of front teeth. And I remember going to my grandma's house, my Nanny Jean's house, and they would play this record. And, of course, we're talking about All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth. Check that out. So this is not their record. This is not my grandma's record. They've both since passed. I don't even know if that record's still in existence anymore. But I found this in the wild, out picking, and I grabbed it because I remember my grandma playing this when I was of the age that you lose teeth. And I just thought, man, I got to have this on my collection. So we picked it, we bought it, and we hung on to it. So honorable mention, Nanny Jean, Paul Charles, miss you guys dearly. All right, here we go. Number 10. This was a television show that debuted in 1964. The music is even older than that, going back to 1960. You put one foot in front of the other, and you'll be on your way. The dentist that didn't want to be or the elf that didn't want to be a toy maker but wanted to be a dentist. The Abominable Snowman. The reindeer with the glowing red shiny nose. We're talking about the soundtrack to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The songs, they're just etched in the brain, okay? It was put out on television before I was born. It's played on television every year since. When VHS became a thing that working people, common people could afford, it was on VHS. Yes, we had it. Then DVD, then Blu-ray. You can watch this whole show on YouTube for free with commercials on demand anytime. You can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and watch Rudolph. What a world. What a world we live in. And it's pushing, well, I shouldn't say that, but you got to think 1964, I believe it was. Yes, December of 1964. So that is what? So next year would be 6 years. So it's 59 years ago. My grandkids like this movie. So imagine them 30 years from now, okay? When they're reminiscing about their childhood and maybe showing this show and the music to their kids. They'll be going on 100 years old by then. I really think there's not a lot of things that last 100 years. There's just not. When you think about the things we have today, heck, people don't like things that are 10 years old. Okay, oh, that's old. That's not cool. That's not hip. We're just so beyond that. We've advanced, blah, 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 blah. They just have that attitude about that, and each generation does that. Every generation does. The kids today think they got something new because it's new for them. Every generation always does that, okay? And in 5 years, you're going to be old, and your stuff ain't going to be cool, and the kids coming up behind you. It's just the way society works. But this one I think has a chance to hit that 100-year mark, still be available for viewing. I don't know that there'll be TVs then. I don't know that, it'll be on demand or VHS or whatever, but somewhere someone's going to be able to watch this. And some kid, after I'm long gone, that maybe has my last name is going to like Rudolph. That's cool. Rudolph. Number 10. Number 9. We talked about this one and the 45s. And we talked about the 45s and we gave you Buck Owens. Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy. So this was played around my house quite often. And then when I left home, my dad called me the keeper of the records. My mom calls me the keeper of the records because, well, I took all the records with me when I moved out. And this one came with me. So this one's been in my family for a long, long time. Old Toy Trains by Glen Campbell. My son, when he was a child, that was his fascination in life, was little toy trains. Thomas the Tank Engine had just come out. That's when Ringo Starr was, doing the MC for that. I don't even know if you guys know that he did that. And my kid loved it. And he had a whole train room. And that song just, I still tear up when I hear it. Then Buck Owens, Blue Christmas Lights and Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy. And my dad would just crank that to the highest volume and talk about his dad or his grandfather that raised him. Sonny James with the Little Drummer Boy. Tennessee Ernie Ford doing Silent Night. Silent. I mean, it's just, yeah, that's where it goes. So just those 3 songs alone, though, the 2 by Buck Owens and 1 by Glen Campbell, is enough to put this one at number 9 on my top 10 Christmas albums of all time. All right, so we're cheating a little bit because this next Christmas album is actually 3 albums. And I don't even like this album. I don't even like the songs on this album. I don't like most of the music on this album is like, yawn. But let me tell you something. This album is my childhood. This album is Christmas during my childhood. It's just if you could snapshot my childhood and then match it to an image and say, this is that. These things equal each other. They're inseparable. It would be this box set of Christmas music. My mom played this thing and played this thing. So let's talk about this. This is Columbia House release. It is a 3-record box set, and it's not rock and roll. Okay, so when you're a little kid and you're looking for Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, and you're looking for Jingle Bell Rock, and even the country stuff, Buck Owens, Santa Looked a Lot Like Daddy. Okay, this is not that. Okay, this is the Mormon Tabernacle Choir singing the Hallelujah Chorus as the first song on the first record on the first side. This is Ray Conniff singing Jingle Bells. That's what this is. Tony Bennett doing White Christmas. Nothing wrong with Tony Bennett, right? Iconic. This is Doris Day singing Silver Bells. The New York Philharmonic Orchestra with Leonard Bernstein conducting. Iconic figures in music, not rock and roll, but music history, doing the Carol of the Bells. But let me tell you what is on this record. And to this day, when I hear it, I can close my eyes and I can smell my mom cooking cookies. Go Tellin' on the Mountain by Mahalia Jackson. To this day, my favorite version of that, Need to Breathe, did a really cool version of it a few years back. But that song, I just remember Mom just, yes, okay? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by Gene Autry. We just talked about the album. Well, here it is. We didn't have that album when I was growing up, the soundtrack, okay? That's one that I've obtained as an adult. But it was on here, okay? What else is on here? That just takes me back. Johnny Cash singing I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day. It just puts me in that moment. Tammy Wynette, Count Your Blessings Instead of Sheep. Okay, again, just puts me back at that time. Percy Faith doing Joy to the World. Again, these are slower, mellower, a glass of wine and a candle type tempo songs. And as a kid, Mom, when's your record going to be over so I can play some Elvis? Mom, when's your record going to be over so I can play some rock and roll music? Mom, do you have to listen to all 3? This is Christmas. This is my Christmas as a kid. As a little boy growing up, this album was Christmas. Now, this is not my mom's version. I don't know if my mom still has her copy of this or not, but I found this in the wild, and I had forgotten about it for many years, and I just like, oh my gosh. So I buy this thing and I bring it home and I put it on. And like I tell you, man, it's like close your eyes and I can smell Mom cooking the cookies, making the peanut butter fudge. God, it just takes you back to a place and time. And that's what music's all about, right? All right, so what number are we on there? 10, 9, 8. So we're up to number 7. Now, number 7, we're going to cheat again and give you 3 records tied for number 7. But they're kind of the same thing. I don't know if you watched my last video, but you saw I talked about the Chipmunks and the Chipmunk song and the 45 that my grandmother gave me that was an original pressing that we just wore out, and I wore it out as a boy. Well, here's the album. Okay, and I talked about this story too. When I got married and my wife and I moved in together and she brought her records with her, she brought this record. This is her record. She had this before we were married. She had this. I mean, you know, I knew I married the right one. And then this walks into my house, or our house, I'm sorry, our house, with her. And are you kidding me? Chipmunks Christmas? So the first couple of years of my married life, this was fun as much as anything. We're teenagers. We're kids. It's one thing I can say. When we were younger, we weren't like that in the fact that, oh, that's old, it's no good. That's just because it's old, it's no good. As a matter of fact, we like the old stuff. We cherish the old stuff. We listened to the oldies channel on the radio. We'd go to adult skate night when they would play 60s music just to skate to the 60s music. You know, and this is when we were teenagers. This is when we weren't even old enough to drink. So we were young teenagers. So we always cherish the old stuff, you know, and still do, still to this day. And still to this day, this will get airplay at my house. Well, then in later years, we bought a clean copy of the Chipmunk record, but this one came with me when I moved out because this was my sister's. And again, I, you know, took the records with me, and my sisters had this one, and you can tell this by, yeah, there it is, there it is. Look at all that writing. Look at that. Look at, they wrote all over that record. This has got a lot of love marks on it. What does that mean? That means they love to play it, and it shows. And the cover is in 2 pieces. This one got beat up. So this one was played at my house in my youth by my sisters. My oldest sister, Shannon, up on the housetop. I don't know if that's her favorite Christmas song of all time. I don't know if she even remembers that song. But there was a period in her life where that song was her life. I can remember riding in the car and she would sing that song. I mean, this is before you had on-demand radio. So we listened to my sister sing up on the housetop. And then I sing, you know, my mom singing it with her. And then my other little sister pipes in. And I'm sitting right there thinking, oh. But, you know, now it's just like, wow, what a memory. What a cool memory. Yeah, I mean, they wrote all over the back of the record, too. Look at all that, you know. And look. I gotta show you this because this is the coolest thing on this whole record. Where's it at? Because it's backwards in there. Look at the Christmas tree they grew. They drew. Look at the Christmas tree. They drew on the record. Almost did it twice. So this belonged to my sisters. It's got the Chipmunk song on it. It's got Up on the Housetop on it. One of my sister's favorite songs. So this is with me from my childhood. It goes with me into my adulthood as I replace it with a cleaner copy. And my wife walks into my life with her own copy of the record as well. Super, 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 super cool. All right, on to the next one. What are we at? Number 6, I think? Let's see. Hold on. Let me cheat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're at number 6. It's hard to keep track when you're doing like 3 in a slot, right? Well, this time I'm only going to give you 1 for the slot. We're up to number 6. And I didn't have this one until in later years, but I knew the music and I heard the music. And my dad loved the Ventures, you know, guitar rock into the surf rock. He loved the Ventures. And this right here, folks, let me just tell you something. This is one of the greatest Christmas records ever made. If you don't know this record, do yourself a favor and find this music however you listen to music. Find it, hear it, play it, listen to it. And if you can find it on vinyl where that warmth and that the way it was meant to sound, you know, it's like the label calls it visual sound stereo. That's kind of what it was. It's so, just such great instrumentation, and the mix is just almost perfect. You can almost see the guys playing the instruments, and this is just a fantastic record. So, you know, just go grab this one. We play a few tracks from this one on the radio stations, and We got the Claris Radio Network, and Claris Radio is playing Christmas music mixed in right now. We're going to go all Christmas right before Christmas. Country is the same thing, but we have an all Christmas channel this year that we put together, and there's some tracks from this album on that all Christmas station, ClarisRadio.com, if you're looking for it, and then there's a drop down of all the different stations, and you're looking for the Christmas channel. 24/7. You couldn't do that back, in the day. You put the record on and listen to the record, but we're putting the record on now. We listen to the record, and we can listen to it wherever we go. This is a great record. Check it out. Number 6. Number 5. One of the first records my wife and I bought after we were married because it was $1.99. We could afford it, and it had some people of the times. Randy Travis was big when this record was put out. This record was put out in 1987. Randy Travis, he's having some hits at that point in time. We all knew who Crystal Gayle was. We all knew who the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band was. And, here's this record. So it was kind of a cool record because it was modern artists doing Christmas music, even though it was country. And, so we buy this one. And Carpenter, A Mother and a King, beautiful song. Forrester Sisters on here. Emmylou Harris, Light of the Stable, absolutely beautiful song. And the whole record's good, but those are probably my 2 favorites on this album. Randy Travis does White Christmas Makes Me Blue. That's kind of a cool record. So this one is special to me, coming in as high as number 5 because, again, it's early in my adult life, not making much money, and to go buy a $2 record was quite a gift at that point in my life. And of course, when you only have a couple of newer records, you play the crap out of them, and this one got the crap played out of it. I have VHS video of my wife decorating our living room with this record spinning on the turntable. So coming in at number 5, good record, good solid country record. All right, coming in at number 4, probably the greatest country Christmas record ever made. 1985, Alabama's Christmas. So I got to tell you a couple stories about this. So I worked at Kmart. That was one of my first jobs. And they came out with the Christmas Bear. Okay, I got one sitting right here. Later years, 2019. We bought one each when my grandkids were born with the years on them. And maybe these were a thing before 1985, 1986. But if they were, I don't remember that. So this album comes out, and it has Thistlehair the Christmas Bear on it. At the same time that, according to my mind and what I'm able to put together, Kmart is selling Christmas bears. Not all stores were selling Christmas bears yet. It was kind of a Kmart thing. And I always thought that was Thistlehair. I always thought that the Kmart bear was Thistlehair, that Alabama wrote the song about the Kmart bear. Now, I don't know if that's a true statement or not. I don't know if one has anything to do with the other. I don't know if it's a coincidence. I don't know if Christmas bears were out way before this album came out. Don't know any of that. But in my world, Thistlehair the Christmas Bear by Alabama was written about the Christmas bear that Kmart sold, and that's just the way it was. And we had one. It did not survive the years. It did not, but we had one of the first ones. What else is on this album? So, Tennessee Christmas. This is 1985. I'm living in Detroit, and by now in Motown. They talk about that during that song. And I always wondered what a Tennessee Christmas would be like. And I finally got to experience that. And here we are in Tennessee, living in Tennessee. And every year is a Tennessee Christmas. And it's so cool. And sometimes when I hear the song Tennessee Christmas, Amy Grant did a really good version of it as well. I just think back to when I used to dream about a Tennessee Christmas and how thankful I am that I get to live a Tennessee Christmas. All right, what else is on here? Santa Claus, I Believe in You. Great one. Christmas Memories, great song. Christmas in Dixie. That's another cool one. And actually, I think that's the one where they talk about Motown. And same thing there. Christmas in Dixie. So great album. Thistlehair the Christmas Bear, Tennessee Christmas, Homecoming Christmas, Christmas in Dixie. You put a record on and just let it play through. So side B was usually the side that we played on this one. So this is a good record right here. Good stuff. All right, coming in at number 3. This is the greatest Christian rock Christmas compilation that has ever been in existence in all time. There's nothing today that beats it. There's nothing prior to when this came out that beats it. This thing is just awesome. Here it is right here. Now, I only had this on CD for many years. And then I find it on vinyl, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I never even knew that it was released on vinyl. This was put out in 1988, according to the copyright on the back of it. BB and CC Winans was on this record. Denise Williams, Michael Card, Tim Miner, Stephen Curtis Chapman, and then there's the rockers. Whiteheart, Steve Camp, Steve Taylor, Jeff Moore in the Distance, Margaret Becker. Just a great record. So Steve Taylor does Winter Wonderland, and he does it as kind of a Latin conga type song. Got to check it out. Only Steve Taylor, crazy man Steve Taylor, could do that. Jeff Moore in the Distance do Jingle Bell Rock, and if you saw the video where I talked about Bobby Helms' version being one of my top 10 Christmas 45s, that version of Jingle Bell Rock on this record by Jeff Moore in the Distance is probably, if it's not the best, it's the second best, and it's a photo finish between the two as to which one's better. It's just a fantastic version of Jingle Bell Rock, just amazing. Whiteheart's A Little Drummer Boy. If Bob Seger hadn't released it, that'd probably be the top version. It's so dramatic and over the top and big production. It's just a great record. This is just a fantastic record. Some of my favorite Christian rock singers from the era doing Christmas music. And yeah, again, we found this on CD when it had first come out in the late 80s and didn't know until many, many years later that it was released on vinyl. So we picked up a copy, which is good for you because you get to see it on my top 10. As you notice, there's no CDs. That was one of my rules, no CDs in this. Even if it was an album that was released on vinyl, but I only have it on CD, I have to own the vinyl to make this show and make this top 10 list. So good thing I found that, or you guys be missing out on a really good record that if you don't have it, you need to go get it. All right, we're moving along here, and we're to number 2. We're going to do one of those things again. My show, we can do this. Number 2 is 3 records. 3 records. I mean, this is not Christmas. Like they ring the bell every day on Wall Street. That's the official start to millionaires making millions and billionaires making billions and people going broke and whatever happens on Wall Street. They ring a bell, and it's like it makes the moment happen. Okay? That's what this is. When this record hits a turntable on Thanksgiving Day, after Santa Claus comes to town in the Detroit Hudson Parade, and Dad walks over to the turntable while Mom starts getting us kids ready for the day and puts this on. Okay? And, you know, you hear, it's Christmas. The bell has rung. It's Christmas time, people. The official start to Christmas. Now, why'd I put all 3 in there? Because how you gonna pick just one of these? Like seriously, how you gonna pick just one? You know, and they've been re-released so many times through the years and repackaged and everything. And some of these songs are on this record, and then on that record, and then on that record, and you know, there's different Elvis's Christmas album. There's that, and then there's that. 2 different covers, and this is before he passed. There's 2 different covers. That's how old these records are. But this is an original. This is an original pressing right here. And this is a Pickwick. I think it's Pickwick. Yeah, Pickwick. Camden Records. Later released in the 70s. They added Mama Likes the Roses on that one. I mean, this is Christmas, you know. And I remember my first heartbreak at Christmas time, and you know, Elvis is singing some heartbreak songs on here. It won't seem like Christmas without you. Oh my goodness, Silver Bells, Merry Christmas Baby is on here. The 5 minute and 45 second version. Remember I talked about that in the last video where we had the 3 minute version on the 45. Well, on this one, the 5 minute and 45 second version is on here. I mean, this is just Christmas. This is just Christmas, folks. And this is another one that I think has a chance to hit that 100-year mark, and it's going to hit it faster, even faster than Rudolph. And this is the stuff we'd be jonesing for. When Mom would be playing that first record I showed you, you know, the 3 Columbia House, we'd be like, Mom, can we listen to Elvis? Because Mom loved Elvis too. Mom absolutely loved Elvis. Dad loved Elvis. We all loved Elvis. We were an Elvis household. We had that. Okay, we had that as a family. So, you know, we figured if we taught Mom into Elvis, she'd say yes because she liked it too. And we were tired of that old person Christmas music, which now I love. You know, from Elvis, and we can kind of, you know, squeeze our way into other stuff from there, like maybe the Chipmunks. Who knows? But anyway, man, this is Christmas. This is the official bell to Christmas. This starts the season. And to this day, you know, I try to make it a point if I'm home on Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. If I'm not home on Thanksgiving because we're with family or we're visiting or whatever, when I get home, get the Christmas season started. Absolutely. Decorate the tree, put an Elvis record on. This tree back here, it's been decorated to, well, not that actual tree, but this is what we call our family tree. It's got all family ornaments on it. We've had, various ones through the years. We've many times been decorated to Elvis Christmas music. Number 2, 3 records coming in at number 2, but God, what a time, what a time. All right, my number 1 favorite, and this was hard because Elvis, he's been with me longer, the music's been with me longer. It's part of my whole family. My wife, her family loves Elvis. I love Elvis. My family loves Elvis. My sisters, their kids, so it was really hard to not put Elvis at number 1. But the reason I didn't is because growing up, there wasn't a lot of rock and roll Christmas music. I mean, I mentioned this a couple times in the video now, which is one reason we always wanted to hear the Elvis stuff, right? So there's not a lot of rock and roll Christmas music. So when it finally starts becoming a thing, it was a really new, cool thing. And so they put out this thing called A Very Special Christmas, and this was to benefit the Special Olympics. And it's put out by Jimmy Iovine, who worked with Tom Petty, back in the day. And Bob Clearmountains and Shelley Yakis, 2 major contributors to this album. And it's just the epitome of a rock and roll Christmas. This is just a rock and roll Christmas. Now, this is my copy from, when did this come out, 87 or 88? Let's think, let's remember. This came out in 1987. Okay, so my first year being married. And, Stevie Nicks' Silent Night, still I think is the best version of Silent Night ever made. Bob Seger's Little Drummer Boy, best version of Little Drummer Boy ever made. Merry Christmas Baby by Bruce Springsteen. Not quite Elvis, but yeah, way up there. John Cougar Mellencamp, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Just an absolute fantastic record. Christmas, Baby Please Come Home. Never knew it was a Motown song. When it came out here, I heard it here first. I grew up in Detroit and I didn't know it was a Motown song until many, many years later. Run DMC. Chillin' and illin' just like the snowman. We still say that in our everyday language. Hey, hon, what you doing? Chillin' like the snowman. I mean, it's part of our language. It's part of, and it's from this song on this record. Backdoor Santa by Bon Jovi, he's got to put a little bit of, sex appeal into it. Run, Rudolph, Run. Brian Adams doing the Chuck Berry classic. Madonna, Santa Baby, she does it. I mean, I'm not like up there on the Madonna list, but she does that one so well. It's so girly and elegant. It's just what a great record. I gotta show you something. My wife puts my name. There's my wife's handwriting right there. Yeah. You can still see the Kmart sticker. We bought it at Kmart because that's where I work. Probably got paid. They used to pay us in cash because they were smart. You spend your money on the way out the door. Probably did. Probably got paid on a Friday and spent my money on my way out the door on this record. 1987 Christmas. Still some of the best Christmas music ever made. Ever. So there you have it. That's my top 10. I got my Christmas Story shirt on because that was a family classic. My grandfather, my Paul Murray, he loved that movie. There's a video, an old, my dad recording on VHS tape, family home video of the whole family sitting around at my grandma's house. And that's what we're all doing on Christmas Day as we're watching A Christmas Story. Man, my pa would just laugh at that movie. And so I had to wear it tonight in honor of him and going down memory lane and some of these records. My grandma had a Statler Brothers Christmas record that didn't make my top 10, but, every time I hear that one, it just takes me back to hanging out at my grandma's house at Christmas time. There's Harry Simeon's Choir, The Little Drummer Boy, and not my favorite version, but again, when I hear it, I think of that TV show that used to come on, and that version was played in that show, if I remember right, and it takes me back to that moment. So there's some hard choices on this one, some records that didn't make the cut. But that's my top 10. Love to hear your top 10, or your top 2, or your top 3, or your memories, or those moments, or those songs that you close your eyes and you can smell your mom cooking, or, your grandma doing something, or you can hear the crinkles of papers, or whatever. Love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Tell some friends about us. It's the Records channel. We've still got some more news about that coming soon. We're going to really start kicking that into gear here as soon as we get through these the holidays. And I don't mean that like a rush, because I love the holidays, so I take it all in. But as soon as that's over, then the coming soon is the announcement's gonna be made. We're ready to get that thing rocking and rolling, and we're excited about it. We got the radio stations. You can listen to the music, clarisradio.com. And we just appreciate you being a part of this. It's a lot of fun to do these. It really is. DJed for many, 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 many years, and got to share music with people and bring them up and mellow them out and you know, just turn dance floors, and somebody will do videos about what all that means. But it's just I love the music. I love talking about it. I love sharing it with you. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And play some music. Put some music in your heart at Christmas, because music and a smell can trigger a moment probably quicker than pretty much anything. So put some music on this Christmas. Enjoy some music. Put the phones down. Turn the TVs off. Put some music on softly in the background. And you know, I got the station. It's set up for that. It's good background Christmas music. There's not a lot of heavy in there. But even if you're not doing that, that's not a plug for it. It's just I'm just encouraging you to enjoy some music during this holiday season and enjoy your holidays. I know it can be tough. Man, this time can be tough. I'm learning about that this year with not having my dad around. And my heart's with you. And music's the only thing that does it for me, man. So I encourage you. Merry Christmas.